Button. Let's go, let's go. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the podcast called What Gets You Fired Up. As always, I like to introduce the reason for why I created this podcast, and the main reason is to bring together the people who have made the quantum leap on their life personally and professionally, and also to bring that knowledge and share it to help others to take the leap to the next level. And I believe in taking that leadership and making the leap because this is part of one of my programs. And today we have an amazing guest. We have Anna Suarez, my dear friend Anna. And Anna, it's somebody which we know that she's doing more than one thing because that's what we do, especially because we're part of the 10x community. So, Anna, welcome to What Gets You Fired Up. It's a pleasure to have you. Hi. And I know that you are doing more than one thing because you are in entertainment production, you are in real estate, you like to do this lifestyle strategy, and I know that you believe in creating life by design rather than by default. And I know you prefer to go and tackle all the aspects of our lives rather than just focusing on one thing. So welcome to What Gets You Fired Up, and it's a pleasure and an honor to have you.
Thank you, and thank you for having me. This is so exciting.
I know. I think it's gonna be uh, a great episode because I we met not so long ago face to face, and we had some great conversation. And I'm looking forward to hear. And I'll start with the first question which I ask to everyone that they join the podcast because it's something which is uh, it's great to hear when people share that. So, what gets you fired up, Anna?
Two words:
Drum roll.
passion and purpose. Drum
Ooh,
roll.
love it, love it. The two P's, the most important P's, because passion and purpose are so connected and they interact together through our lives from the minute we actually get come out and say hello to the world until we pass on and pass the legacy we created to somebody else. So I love that you said that. So tell me more about what's your passion, what's the purpose of you being on this lovely planet.
Yeah, and I had to actually re-look at my life not long ago, as you know the story,
Yes.
because it was at the point of my life where even though I knew what was my purpose, I kind of had a little bit of kind of like change of perspective and change of things. And I'll be honest, I kind of lost my center, for lack of a better word. So I had to re-look at what this passion means and what this portion means. And my passion version, because of course, we can look at so many meanings of one word, and mine is helping others and helping others, and feeling that you have that self accomplishment because you get to help others and you feel like you're rewarded when you see the successes of these people. And um, and because I have done it myself, I'm really really grateful for that. And then yes, and my purpose is to basically have the intention that, like you said, uh, pass on. When we pass on, we want to leave that legacy. And the way I want to see it is actually the fact that before I pass on, I want to make the difference in this world.
Awesome. I love
Yes.
it. So
And
tell
that's what
me.
gets me fired up. And there's 20 different ways, 20
I
different
know.
things.
Well, I mean, we talked about this before we went live. So, and I said that your top, your red top, actually brings that fire, and we know, and I know how much fire and passion you have because we met, and everybody who actually met you in person, they feel the energy that you and your body just express, and you can feel like it's like a you go in Anna's aura, because
The
it's
pint
so.
size one.
No, it's that big. It's just around you and the people around you. But tell me something. When did you realize that your passion is about helping others? When did you notice that this is what I want to do? This is who I am, and this is what I'm gonna do.
Uh, I'll be honest with you, it was a long journey of realizing that that's what I wanted. That's what I want to do. However, I think my heart and my soul sometimes kind of have like, oh yeah, this is so cool. This is awesome. And everything. And then you're like, and then you stop doing it and you're like, why is it that my soul is not like, it doesn't
Not
feel
coming
good?
out, yeah.
Exactly. And I wish I would say that I knew at a very young age, like, what does that mean to you? However, at a very young age, when again, I said this a little bit about you, to you about myself. It's like when you were born in the mountains, that to this day you can't get there except by foot.
Yes.
And then you progress from there, wherever you're at now. And for me, in my version right now, from here to here, I feel like I've done a pretty good job. It- on top of that, having both of my fathers telling me that if I can help one person just from here, because I know I'm going somewhere else, like
Yeah.
I know I got more to go, you know what I mean? Just from here to here. And even if I'm gone, I pass on in this world. That's my legacy right there. And I was very blessed to have people in my life that I could actually tell you this. They've not just imparted a thing that would make me stand about myself and make me understand about who I am, but they've also given me the ability to learn life without retribution, like knowing that I can make mistakes and actually still be okay with it and go at it again the very next day. So I would say, in short summary, after that, I realized that in the last 6 months, I realized that this is where my life is going to be moving forward.
Awesome.
And knowing that I'm not yet where I'm supposed to be, however, I can take people where I'm going, then I'd be very happily be okay of leaving this world knowing that I made a difference. So really in the last 6 months, it's been very, very clear, about 100% really clear, and I would never trade it for any other way. And it started a long time ago. I was just so terrible of seeing it, of course. I'm slow on those type of things.
Nah, you're fine. You mean some people just take their own life to realize that. So it's what's the important part is when we actually realize that that's what we need to do, and that's what more important, not need, that's what we want to do. And the minute your passion and the purpose align, that's where great things happen. That's why your energy it comes so positive. I mean, when I speak to you and when I listen to him, I'm like, yeah, I like this listen. That's you just capture you the way you speak and the way you come across. It's just people just want to listen because they understand that it comes. When you're authentic and you have nothing to hide, that's when people get attracted to you and to your persona, to your personality, because they feel there is nothing there. It's all honesty and transparency. And actually, funny enough, speaking of that, I posted the video earlier talking about that when I said, look. I can speak in a elevated way, but that's not going to be me. I like to swear, but not because for the sake of swearing, but putting that the word, it just makes a huge difference in how the rest of the sentence or what I'm trying to say. It just brings me into it, and I know that that's why you do the same when you are talking. You bring yourself fully. You don't hold back and say, oh, I need to think about this on how I'm going to say it. You just say it the way it is. So that's exactly why it's so important to find that alignment.
And that's the thing. I'll be honest. Okay, for years I hid, and I think this is where I had to learn to be authentically myself. And my brain by now, where I actually had to research and I had to make so many mistakes. And that's why I have to go back to these people that have given me grace, that have given me patience to actually understand, because my brain works very differently.
Yeah.
And for so long, for example, at a very young age, I still remember this, that I was offered a job to be a talk show host. I remember this. And the very first answer, within a matter of seconds, I was like, oh, hell no. And I walked out.
That's funny. Hello, this is not me. Goodbye.
Exactly. I was like, no, absolutely not. And that's also why my answer to you about the last 6 months is because it felt like for so long I was hiding, I was running away, I was all of these things that I did because I wasn't ready to step into my power. And not even because I chose that power, is because that power is a gift.
Yes.
And so many of us, whether we had a chance to figure out that power, that gift, so many of us either get distracted, or people like me is like, oh, hell no. I'm doing my own thing because that's a bit much. And that is not in my comfort zone. In the last 6 months of my life, there is one thing that I don't know now.
Share away.
You can't control everything.
There you go.
So I was like,
Excuse me.
exactly. I was like, I guess I better start letting it go. And that call that I actually had right before talking to you, and I was just like, oh my God, what am I doing? Because the older I get, the more I realize I don't know anything.
I know, I know. And speaking of that, I was thinking even today I was looking because I just graduated a new, well, one of my the mastery uh, program, which I was with Richard Dolan for 13 months, and I realized that I learned so much, but I've done so little, and I was like, what the hell is wrong with me? I'm like, why am I learning so much and I'm doing so little? I was like, that's it. Enough, it's enough. No more programs, no more anything. I said, I'm sitting on a gold mine and I have so much knowledge which I can share and so many programs which I can just pass them on to other people. And instead of doing that, I'm just going into another program. I was like, that's it. Enough, it's enough. But you mentioned earlier about the power. What is your superpower? What would you say? This is my superpower. This is what makes me different from the rest.
Ah, I had a session because I do the transformational coaching. Like that's actually where I'm stepping out, stepping in more now.
Yes.
And that was early this morning. And this person was just like, Anna, come on. I was like, what? What did I do wrong? It's like, no, 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 no. It's not wrong. It's just you're making me think in a way that I've never even thought of.
Love it.
And because of where I come from, because of my experiences, because of me being different, because of all the good, the bad, and the ugly of my life. I haven't stopped learning to fall in love in myself, learning to love the world again, learning that I am enough to make a difference in this world before I pass on. And I think between me being able to make people think way farther, way more, way deeper than they've already done, because I'm a very inquisitive girl.
I know that.
Yes. I mean, we sat on the beach and I'm like, how about this? How about that? Oh, what did you do? It's like, that's me. And when I transfer, because I love learning about people, when
Yeah,
I transfer that, because like you said, there's a word that you used, gold mine. Because of my inquisitiveness, I'm able to pack ideas in my head on top of my experiences. Because there are people like you that I look up to, and I'm like, yo, man, what you smoking? Because I need to know what you
yeah.
doing right
What are
now.
you doing? Yeah,
Exactly, exactly. However, we go back to the stepping into the power. Because before you can step in that power, you need to learn to be authentically you first.
for sure.
And the thing is, boy, you and I both know it's not easy.
Yeah,
Especially in this world that we live in. Not that this world is bad. It's just very different than you and me are used to. And again, it's not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. It's just what it is. And then we're evolving as people. And there was one thing that I learned, to listen to my inner voice.
yeah. I'm
And some people
surprised how
call
many
it,
people they don't,
yeah, some
including
people
myself
call it God.
sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. And I spent about an hour today of kind of like re-looking at my life, because again, I'm reassessing my life in the last 6 months and all of that.
Yeah.
And boy, I've got some times I'm like, why the hell did not listen to my inner voice?
Like 6 months ago.
Exactly. No, 6 years ago. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with me? And that right there was one of, and it still is to this day, where it's one of the ways for me to be how to be authentic of myself.
Yes.
And the biggest one for me at this point is be vulnerable.
Yes. I know, I agree. And you see, the thing is that there are so many people afraid to become vulnerable, and even to embrace their less positive side, to put it this way. Uh, and they fighting the other person. I mean, I have one of the a dear friend of mine. She used to tell me, "I want to see your dark side, because I want to know you fully." And I said, I was like, I'm afraid of my dark side. I don't want to let it out. And she was like, I'll push you to the limit. And I was like, not sure you want to go do that. But because, we know our darkest secrets, and we know what we can cause. And the first things into, especially, I know because you think the same as I am, the first thought that comes in our mind is I'm gonna hurt you, and I don't want to hurt you, so I'm gonna just step away from it. So that's why I asked you earlier about your superpower, because with the superpower it comes the kryptonite. You know, they all come together, and sometimes your superpower is your kryptonite, because it makes a huge difference in what you are. So tell me, how do you? Because I know you acknowledge it. How do you deal with it when you acknowledge that your superpower becomes your kryptonite?
Mm, this is very raw, because I'm in a situation right in this point of my life where you're right, it is my kryptonite. Someone just told me not long ago, you make me feel stupid. Yeah. The thing is, I had to learn, and I still am. Holy macaroni salad. Like, I still am to this day. And I actually almost cried. No, 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 wait. I cried when I heard that. Just to be honest with you, I cried when I heard that because I'm like, that is the last thing that I want you to feel. Because of the way my brain works, I make people think deeper, farther, wider than any other time of their lives.
That scares them though.
So I almost cried when I said this to someone because I had to share. And this is me being vulnerable right now. He said,
I appreciate it.
yeah. And I said, that is the last thing I want to do. And this person basically said, I know. I said, then what can I do to be better? And this person says, there's nothing you can do. I said, why? I had to write that. And I'll share that. I'll tell you that. Because it took me a moment to actually really understand it and really kind of like make my heart be okay. Because the last thing I want to do is to make someone feel stupid, right?
Yes.
And then this person, the other person, actually said this. There's absolutely nothing you can do. The reasoning for that is your mental and emotional power is too much for that particular person.
I was just about to say the same thing.
Now, doesn't mean it made it less painful because
Obviously.
That's my kryptonite. And
you have a big heart. That's your kryptonite.
I just want to make a difference in this world, man.
I know. You know, and the thing is, the funny thing is that because we are alike so much, and that's why I wanted to have you on the show, because I knew it's gonna be like we're gonna go so deep. Is that we come across like, and I will say it because I'm gonna go straight to the point. We come across like assholes. You know why? Because we go very strong, very deep, very sharp, and like a laser. I'm just gonna cut you through all your bullshit away. This is who you are, you little man. This is what you need to deal with. Cut the crap. So people is like, you just make me feel stupid, what you just said, because they don't expect to have that. You speak with somebody for 5 minutes, and then they be like, what the hell just happened? I just feel like I didn't know what I'm doing for the last 10, 20, 40 years. And that's why you felt wrong, but it's actually is their reflection rather than you making them feel stupid. They feel stupid for the reason I just said now. We just moved all the barriers, all the limitation, all the nonsense away, and they
Garbage.
yeah, all the rubbish, and then you feel naked, and when you feel naked, you feel vulnerable. And when you feel vulnerable, you just feel stupid because, like, what am I supposed to do? What am I putting my hands? It's like you just feel powerless. So when you put a person in that position to feel powerless, they say, look, this is how I feel. But the great thing with you is that they didn't blame you for that. They acknowledge it, which is the most important part. So, see, that's why I love to speak to you. It's always great conversations, and I love it.
Thank
But look,
you.
I love that you actually share it and you put yourself out there to be vulnerable, because I know your goal in life is to help so many other people by sharing the greatness in your heart and the knowledge you have. But tell me, if you will be something that you would have known, let's say 10, 20 years ago, what would that be, and how would you change who you are right now?
I would have started sooner.
I love it.
I would have not run away. I would have stepped into my power, even though I didn't know what the hell was I doing.
I love that. I would have started sooner. One of the things that I resonate with this is because I when I moved in UK 15 years ago now, I realized after about 5 years ago, I was like, why on earth I was so scared to move away from my home country, because I could have made so many great things and I could have realized so many and I could have done so many things. But then I thought about it and said, look, if I wouldn't go through this journey to all the experiences, I could have come here 10, 20 years earlier and probably I wouldn't realize not even half of it. And my dear friend and mentor Richie Dolan said, you're in the right place at the right time where you're supposed to be. So don't try to be something that you're not yet ready for it.
You know, there's this cliche thing that people say that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Oh, yes.
I was talking to someone about it and I said, I want to expand that. The reasoning for that is I think the whole entire time it's been there. You could say, oh, maybe because we were so blind. Really, in my opinion, I think we weren't ready to step into that.
For
So we
sure.
did not recognize it. We didn't see the value of it. And the thing is, I was at church and I told someone in the middle of the church, and I said, I just want to let you know how grateful I am to have you in my life. You're incredible. I still remember that word because in the middle of the church, we were asked to write a couple of things. And I want to share one of the word that I wrote: courage. And one of my core values is actually courage.
Nice.
Yeah. The reasoning for that is when you ask if something that you would have known 10, 20 years ago, flat out, I wish I had the courage. And that courage will carry us as we move along in this life because we can't change the past now. We can't change how it started. But now that we have the courage to take control, and I usually piss a lot of people off when I say, take control,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
The word control is apparently pretty bad in my world. It's like, absolutely not.
Yeah. Don't do that.
Exactly. And I was like, goodness gracious, I love it. Um, that you can actually change the outcome. And the thing is, you can change the ending, the outcome, the result, whatever you call it. However, you have to have the courage to step out of your comfort zone. Whatever that is, having a new relationship, all the way to going back to your family that you haven't spoken to, all the way to however old you are, and you got to go either that's training, that's school, that's everything. Also, realizing what you need so that you can keep going. Who are you? And the thing is, I asked this to a lot of people. What if I take everything, everything, your mom, your dad, basically your entire family, your success, your friends, your money, because sometimes success is about, oh, I got a CEO type of thing right here, whatever that is.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be specific. Your work, your friends, your car, your house, your everything. Then who the hell is Christian?
Yeah. That's always a hard question to ask. Who are you if I strip you off of everything?
Naked, vulnerable. We used that word already.
Yes, we have. Yeah, I think that's the thing where people are just afraid of, to be naked in every sense of in every aspect of your life.
And boy, oh boy, in the last 6 months, I can tell you this right now. I wouldn't trade it any other way. However, there were moments where I was like, I always have a reflection time in the nighttime. And not long ago, I just said, I don't know what I'm doing. However, I'm so glad I'm here because I wouldn't be this. I wouldn't be where I'm at. I wouldn't be the woman that I am now without taking those chances. Now, there's a brain of mine that's kind of like a computer. Everyone's like, well, what can I do better as I move along?
Yeah.
And I'm like, how about this? Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. And then after that, I was like, oh, hell no.
Nah.
Let's just wing it. So between having those two brains, and some people was like, I feel like you're bipolar sometimes. I'm like, why? And they're like, because sometimes you're like, it has to be this way, this way, this way, this way. And then once you get your head wrapped around, you're like, oh yes,
Yeah,
all of the
gone.
plan.
I've done it. So tell me something, because we have no problem to use the F word very easily, and not so many people are afraid to say it. What do you say is your biggest failure, and what did you learn from it?
Failure and learn from it. Whew, there's a lot. My biggest failure is not getting not getting to know myself as quickly as I should. Because I should have known better that I was one of the most critical person to myself. No. Because if I'm critical to other people, I can promise you, I just told someone not long ago, it's like, if you're critical to other people, ooh, you're 10 times worse to yourself.
Yes.
And that led me in a pretty bad shape. That's another vulnerability that I want to share, is it led me to not understanding who I was, not being able to do the things that I have to do to overcome those things that literally, I'm not kidding you, like it physically manifested. And it took me a moment to understand that at the end of the day, it is okay. I have to accept. This is what I learned. Woo, acceptance.
The hardest part. Accept yourself
Yes.
fully.
I have to accept the things that I cannot change, which is my past. There's absolutely nothing I can do. I wish we have really the real machine, kind of like the movie Back to the Future or Back in the Future or something like that. I don't even remember the movie where you can travel.
Back in the future. Yeah.
Something like that. Yes, yes. Then you can kind of tweak some things. And then I thought about it too, and I was like, if I do, that would change the balance of the world.
Yeah.
Whether that's a
You're not gonna
world
be you who you are.
exactly, even if like it's just my world. If I'm going to change that, then who am I going to be? So I had to get to the point where I had to accept that. And then another biggest thing is, that's not the end of my life. Now, let me be very honest. The shame, the guilt, the everything that comes with it
Hurts.
doesn't make me want to get up in the daytime, because ooh, it hurts. Oh my God, it hurts. Now, let's go back to the courage. And I have to give grace to myself. I have to have patience in myself. I have to be okay and say, I won't give up. And this is a portion of me that, because of my failure, I also had to learn to overcome. And I've slowly but surely, I'm not 100% and I'm not perfect, isolating myself. The moment I will have failure, I go inwards and I shut the world and I shut the door of my house. And my house, oh, Christian, I will tell you this right now. Half of the people that I know, like close in my town, they haven't even been in my house. I've protected that fortress.
That's your den.
I realized though that the moment I have failure, I isolate myself. That was the worst thing that I could have done. Because you can't do it alone. You can't. There is no way. You cannot build an empire. And I'm not talking about you because my business is called Build an Empire. Literally, no, sorry, not build an empire. Empower the empire. That's the name of my business. And then the side it says creating life by design. You can't by yourself. There's no way. You can build a small business, medium business, probably. But it's going to get to the point where you're going to need people. And what I've learned, oh my God, this is so new to me. And I have to say this. I've learned, once I learned to be authentically me, I found my tribe, man.
That's it.
However, I had to be vulnerable to have my tribe understand me. And I have to have the courage to take a chance knowing I might get hurt big time.
Yeah, I know. You see, most of the people are afraid to even go into a new relationship because of their past experiences. So to let yourself go and to find yourself again, it's even stronger. And actually goes into the one of the question I want to ask you because you mentioned learning and acceptance. And I want you to tell, not just to myself, but tell to the people that are listening to this, why it's so important to have that person to learn from, like, the coach, the mentor. Why it's so important to have one of those people next to you, and how did that change your life and allow you to take that leap into the next level, into the next you?
Well, here's the thing. The reasoning why I actually have decided to step into my power of being a transformational coach and high achievers people and all of that is because I wish I did it sooner. I wish I did it sooner, to be very honest with you. The reasoning for that is, I'm going to go back to, we can't do it by ourselves. You need to have someone that, no joke, like, just, that's why there's so many mentors, there's so many coaches and everything. And I'm really happy to hear that, is because of the fact that you can literally grab little bits and pieces, nuggets from each one. Or, well, here's the biggest part in my opinion. Or you can find someone that literally you can learn from. Whether that's because you admire this person, they got a good heart, you spoke the same. And I'm not talking about physical language, like linguistically. I'm talking about the love language and everything. Or really, to be honest with you, your heart and your soul is, and your mind is telling you that is the person you want to learn from for whatever reason. take a leap of faith. Really. The biggest for me right now in this particular point of my life is to learn to take a leap of faith, to have people that I was just like, and that call that I had prior to talking to you, and I was like, how did you know this? And this person was like, you didn't have to say anything. I was like, I'm not kidding you. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding you. I actually cannot remember when was the last time I was shocked that way. Because this is deeper than just a facade of cute little things or something like that. This was deeper. And this person, like, you don't have to explain. And I was like, really? Seriously? Yes, yes. And when that happens, you have that power. You will feel empowered to step up, to move forward, to go for it, to learn some more. Because for the first time, you have someone that's not just cheering you on, but call you out on your BS. Which I have been the exact same person have called me that same thing. And I was like, oh, shoot. You're right. And I just start rolling my eyes, and this person would just start laughing and everything. But it's true. It's true. So that's the learning part.
No, I love it. I love it. And as we wind down, I want to ask you a couple of questions. Do you feel that you are different from others? And if you do, how would you consider yourself different than other people? I know we're all unique, but what would be that thing or something that makes you different than other people?
I'm crazy.
Welcome to the club.
Yes. And I take on challenges that most people don't. I literally have one person right now that I am coaching who
Awesome.
basically said, how the hell are you doing this? I said, why? This person says, because I have paid this much, spend this amount of time, and this person is not young. This is like, and with a very high power and all of that. And I said, oh yeah, I just like to take on very, very, if no one is taking on that particular situation, sign me up.
There you go. I'm in. Just tell me they can't be done, and I'm jumping on. I'm the first one.
Exactly. I'm crazy that way. And the thing is, it's like, it fires me up.
There you go.
And honestly, I'll be honest. It's not just to help that person. It's also to expand me. See, we actually win together. That's what I love about it. Because I'm glad that there are people that are doing like the normal stuff and everything. I'm like, awesome, amazing. That's so cool. That's so great. And I'll do that too. However, if you tell me right now and says, yo, I got so-and-so, this is such a complex story. I don't even know. And I'm like, complex? Come on. Let's do this together. And the thing is, like, if you will see like my notes, I literally have notes after notes after notes after notes. And then I'd go back and I was like, ooh, how about we can do this? How about we can do that? Oh, how about this? How about that? Oh, this is so cool. And the moment that I have this, I call it a revelation in my head, then I share it to this particular person and it'll be like, what are your thoughts? And this person's like, damn.
You ask me that question, I can't tell you that.
Exactly. And then after that, I was like, well, you ready to take a chance? And then I see this person. So someone asked me, why do you do what you do? Because the moment I figured out how to actually bring someone up, and I call it, I elevate them and then I break them through. I don't know. I have this kind of like warm, fuzzy feeling and say, fly, baby, fly.
Yeah. Love it. Love
This
it.
makes me so happy.
Yeah, you see, that actually leads into into one of my last questions is, what makes you feel inspired? But you kind of already answered that.
Oh my God, yes. And the physical stuff I have, oh my God, like today I was doing my thankful notes, and I just said that there are specific people right now in my life that I wouldn't do it any other way. And I want them proud. I want to show them that whether it's the time, the money, the everything that they've invested in me, the love, the support, the compassion, the everything that they've invested in me, it's not for vain. So on top of what I just shared, it's this one too. Because of the fact that I am so effing blessed, man.
Love it. Love
I
it.
get to have all the blessings. And I'm not kidding you when people say, what does that even mean? Like, what, why? I say, come on, think about it. Think about it.
Why not?
And honestly, like, hey, you could literally be not in mentally good space, not physically good space, not spiritually, not professionally. And we all have the struggles in our lives. However, if we really dig deep, which what I do with every single person that I work with, it's not the here, it's deeper than that.
It's always it.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, when I say I'm effing blessed, doesn't mean that I don't have struggles. Holy crap. In the last 6 months, you know my story.
Yes, yes.
And yeah, and who I can give up now and say, poor me. But if I dig deeper, I have two diabolical angels right now that would not let me off the hook.
They put you up, and they fire it up more than anything else. You see, that's why people. I always tell people, say, look, why would you want to have an angel and the devil on the other side when you can have two of them?
Exactly. And then because of that, I have experienced life in such a fulfilling way. And I can tell you this right now. That's the reason why I say I'm blessed. Now, ask me tomorrow, we might have a different story.
Love it, love it. Look, one more question because I know you're busy and I don't want to hold you, although I could speak to you forever because we connect so well. What advice would you give to somebody who wishes to become an entrepreneur and start their own journey, their own business right now? Because we live in a totally different world. Like I said, it's not good, it's not bad, it is what it is. But what would be one advice would you give to somebody who wants to take that leap, that jump, that make the difference in their life, in other people?
Take a chance. Make a bet on yourself. All joking aside, the biggest bet that you should be doing is to yourself. You can't
Love
bet
it.
on anyone. You can't bet on your family. You can't bet on your wife, husband, friends. Not that that's not a good investment. But there's
No, I
one
love it.
thing, control is you. So take a chance on yourself. Make a bet on yourself. And have the courage. Have the courage to keep moving forward no matter what. Because the only time you will fail is if you quit.
So true.
And I called someone a coward not long ago.
Ooh.
This person quit. And I don't usually will use that word because that's a like that will just make your heart just like I ripped apart. And I said, because you quit. Only time you will fail is if you quit. So here's the goal. Doesn't matter how you get there. You go this way, you go that way, you go this way.
Don't stop.
Take a chance on yourself.
Love
That's
it.
the more investment you'll ever have for the rest of your life. And if you pass on tomorrow, you know you did everything because you took a chance on yourself.
No, I love it. I love it. And what a better way to finish this conversation than take a chance on you and make sure you get that understand exactly what's that thing that makes you feel alive. What gets you fired up, as I call it, because people think like, why did you call your podcast "What Gets You Fired Up"? I say because that's the thing that brings you and moves you forward. That the one that takes you from all the bad things into the greatness. The minute you understand your dark side and you know how to tame it and use that fire for the good, you are unstoppable. And when you're unstoppable, you can do anything you like.
And embrace that dark side.
Yes.
People will have a hard time on your dark side. And you and me, we have stories that sometimes even us we're ashamed of. We're like, damn, what have I done? I certainly have. And I know we spoke about yours a
I'm
little bit.
guilty.
However, most people would just shove it under. And not from other people. We shove it
From
under
themselves.
in us.
Yes.
Yes. And we hide that on us. And what I realized, I for years I say this to people, I'm a double-edged sword. This way or this way. And I learned to play with that sword right in the middle. And don't get me wrong, sometimes like, ow, that hurts.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
That's why, yeah, if you embrace both dark sides, oh, it's a lot of fun though. Because I'm like,
Yeah. The killer mode comes in.
I know.
I call it the silent killer because you don't see it coming, but you feel it from miles away.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Now that's what I call savage.
There you go. Happy days. Look, Anna, it's been a pleasure, a blessing to have you, and I'm really grateful for you actually taking the time to come and join me today. And I want to thank you, and I'm sure that we're gonna do more conversation like this one. And I'm looking forward to have the first one live rather than just a recording. But for the sake of a podcast, I want to thank you again. It's been an honor to have you, Anna. And for the people that are listening and watching later, we just had Anna Suarez on What Gets You Fired Up, and it's been a conversation. And I have to say, it has been the longest episode since we started 2 years ago. So, Anna, you're on top. And I didn't expect any less because I knew it's going to be a great conversation. And the only reason I'm looking to, not, I wouldn't say end it, to stop it for the moment is to get more on the next one because I'm sure it's going to be a next one,
It's
and
gonna be more
I'm looking I'm looking forward to have you on the show again, and I thank you again. So for the sake of the recording, we just had another great episode with Anna Suarez on what gets you fired up, and please welcome me to thank Anna for coming on the show. So Anna, thank you very much, and we're really blessed to have had you for the last 55 minutes.
At least we're still under an hour. Oh,
I know. No, it's been great, and I'm truly blessed to speak to you, and I'm even more blessed to actually met you in person because, like I said, that energy that you bring with, it's an amazing energy, and I'm looking forward to see what other great things you're gonna bring in people's lives. And I want you to share how people can reach you because I think the more people know about you and the things that you can help, the more the better. So you tell me what's the best way for people to find you?
Facebook, Instagram, the Anna Suarez. As simple as like that. Twitter is
Awesome.
the same. Yeah, it's very easy.
Strong and simple in the same time.
Very, very. I make it
Very
simple as
like you.
yes, yes, sir, yes, sir. And I really, truly appreciate this time. It's not just me sharing, it's also a very healing conversation with you. and understanding that I actually can share my thoughts, and maybe somewhere along the way there's one person that will understand it and actually say, hey, this is the best thing that ever happened to me. I can actually move forward now because they have one simple or small nugget. That's all for me, and I would do it again over and over again because that's how I learned in my life. So people like you that have literally have taken care of podcast, and I know how much work you put on in this before you even put it to the public and everything. I truly appreciate when people like you put in the work so
Thank
that
you.
people like me don't have to do anything.
All the hard
Even
work.
talking.
Don't worry, other people are doing it for us, and then we do the same. So we just go both ways. But again, thank you very much, Anna. It's been a pleasure, and I'm looking forward to see what's going to happen next.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.